inside Dodger Stadium, and welcome to Major League Baseball's opening week on Spectrum Sportsnet LA, presented by Humana. Welcome inside, everybody. Joe Davis, Or Hershiser, Alana Rizzo joins us in a moment. 1-0 opening day, and you thought, okay, they'll figure it out and probably explode day two. 1-0 again, and here they are, day three, still looking not just for that first win of the season, but the first run still.
Offense needs to get going, goes without saying. You can't win unless you score, and you got to get some hits. Only 7 hits and no extra base hits so far.
But they've held the Giants to 2 runs. Obviously, they're 0-2, but the pitching has been really good.
Yeah, really good. You've got to start at the top with Clayton Kershaw. You go opening day, and he really should have had another opening day W. Pitched good enough to win. He would say it's not his best stuff, but boy, when he doesn't have his best stuff, he knows how to battle. Pitched good enough to win. Just again, the offense didn't show up. And then following that up in the rotation, Alex Wood. Most amazing outing of his career. 8 innings, only the 1 hit, went toe-to-toe with Johnny Cueto. It was a pitcher's battle the whole way, and again, 1 swing beat the Dodgers, but Alex Wood did his job. And then tonight, Kenta Maeda, coming out of the bullpen as far as the World Series is concerned, and the playoffs, was outstanding, had a great spring. Up goes the cutter usage, down goes the slider usage, but when the ball goes right to left, he is very, very good.
We have a lineup supporting him tonight that looks a little bit different than the first couple of games, and for more on that, we go down to Alana Rizzo, brought to you by El Pollo Loco.
Joe, for starters, Corey Seager is going to get the night off. Dave Roberts says because the team doesn't have an actual official off day until Thursday between Arizona and San Francisco, he's going to try to get all of the regulars at least 1 day off prior to that date. That means that Kike Hernandez is at the shortstop position. As far as third base is concerned, that's going to be Kyle Farmer. It's his first start of the year. It's also his second major league career start. Kyle Farmer is going to be at third base. Logan Forsythe, who manned the hot corner last night, he's still in the game tonight. He is over to second base. Everyone is available off the bench, guys.
Okay, Alana, that is a lineup with 8 right-handers in it against Derek Holland, who over the last 2 years has been the worst pitcher in baseball against right-handed hitters. So maybe a recipe for the Dodgers to break out. Game 3 of the season, the Dodgers and the Giants. The great rivalry continues after this. What better place on a Saturday night here in late March, in fact the final day of March, as the Dodgers and Giants get ready for Game 3 of this opening weekend. The Giants taking the first two by scores of 1-0. Kenta Maeda trying to put a stop to it, really trying to continue what Alex Wood and Clayton Kershaw have done the last two nights, and then hoping that the offense can hold up its end of the bargain, and that it's more than this man providing the offense. Joe Panik, a home run in each of the first two games. That is it for either side. Brandon Belt, with a right-handed pitcher on the mound, moves up from the bottom of the order to the 2 spot. The heart of the order remains the same: McCutchen, Posey, and Longoria. The Giants are 2-0 despite those guys being really bad so far. Brandon Crawford at short, hitting 6th. Hence Blanco and Derek Holland. Kenta Maeda is 29 years old and entering his 3rd major league season.
13 wins last year, an outstanding playoffs. This is the 6th best winner in the big leagues over the last 2 years, 29-17. Clayton Kershaw a tick above that at 30-9. But Kenta Maeda has been a foundational piece of this rotation.
Panik stands in, and Maeda into his windup. Off we go with a fastball strike. Panik, the first player in the history of baseball to hit a solo home run in back-to-back 1-0 wins. Breaking ball is outside, and it's 1-1. Did it against Kershaw on opening day. Did it against Kenley Jansen yesterday. Some select company in that he's hit home runs against both those guys, not on just back-to-back days, but in the same year. Joins Paul Goldschmidt, who did it in the same game in 2013, and then Alex Bregman, who did it in the World Series last year. It's the only guys to homer against Kershaw and Jansen in the same season. But here Maeda strikes him out.
First baseman number 9, Brandon Belt.
Breaking ball down, start him off with fastballs up to finish him off. Instead of those home run replays, we are watching a strikeout, and that is much better news for the Dodgers.
You know, the Giants are 2-0, but just those 2 runs. There's Brandon Belt, and that's ball 1. The Giants are second last in baseball in runs scored through 2 days. Obviously, the Dodgers still looking for their first run, or a notch below the Giants in that regard. Bruce Bochy's team has not exactly hit the cover off of the ball. 2-0.
Giants have restructured their roster, and things have changed as far as winning ways so far, but lack of run production. Last year when they scored 1 run, they were 0-23. This year so far, 2-0.
A 2-0 pitch, and the ball outside. 3-0 on Belt. The Giants of last year, who were without that man, Andrew McCutchen, without Evan Longoria, went 64-98. It was tied with the Tigers for the worst record in baseball. It's a 4-pitch walk, and Belt's aboard with 1 out.
Right fielder number 22, Andrew McCutchen.
So now McCutchen. The Giants off to this 2-0 start despite McCutchen, Posey, Longoria going to combine 1 for 24. First right-handed hitter that Maeda faces today takes strike 1. And Maeda, quietly a year ago, Oral, was one of the best pitchers in baseball against right-handed hitters.
Slider and the cutter was a new addition last year, but mainly not for righties as much as it was for lefties. That dominant slider, but the fact that he mixed his pitches better with the changeup and the fastball actually made the slider better. And I think it really helped dominate the right-handed hitters, and a lot of swing and misses.
3rd best strikeout percentage in baseball against right-handed hitters. 0-1 on McCutchen. Maeda back downhill, and that spins outside for ball 1. First inning was an issue for Kenta last year. And he's hoping to take what he learned from that postseason run in the bullpen. Aggressiveness in the zone that he pitched with, that Turner Ward and Rick Honeycutt and the Dodgers staff loved watching. Trying to channel that back into his starting role. 2-1.
Only broke the 100 pitch mark twice last year. Averaged around 82 in his starts. But the best way to get deep into a game is to aggressively attack the strike zone early, keep your pitch count down, and get quick outs. And to nibble around the corners, that's something you do at the end of your pitch count when you're really knowing the game is on the line.
Belt takes off, and we'll get second base as McCutchen swings and misses. 2-2.
Swing and a miss, not a foul tip. Austin Barnes looked like he had trouble getting out of his glove. It made it look like it was a foul tip, but it wasn't. It was a clean catch, just not a good transfer.
First action of the season for Barnes back there. Grandal's had a nice start, first couple of games. Two to McCutchen is a slider that he can't lay off. Strike three. Maeda's second K of the first inning.
Both on breaking pitches and both very sharp. Start down the middle, end up on the outer half right there below the knee. Cannot hold up.
With a runner at second and 2 out, here is Buster Posey. Still looking for his first hit of the season, though he does have a couple of walks. Longest tenured Giant now after Matt Cain retired. Posey in his 9th major league season, under control for a while still. Contract through his age 34 year, which would be 2021. Former Rookie of the Year, an MVP, 3-time world champion. On a 1-0 pitch, cuts and misses, strike one.
Interesting that Kenta Maeda is throwing the ball harder than Clayton Kershaw and Kenley Jansen. That arm that played up in the bullpen is playing up here in 2018 so far.
And he admitted that, you know, he learned about himself in going into the bullpen. He learned that he didn't need to be a guy that kind of paces himself to last deeper into games and doesn't empty the tank in the right way. He was holding back too much, he thought, early in games as a starter. Nice looking slider, puts him ahead of Posey 1-2.
You know, you can pace yourself as far as pitch selection, where you don't show all of your weapons, but as far as intensity, I think Clayton Kershaw is the greatest example of never hold back on intensity, and he goes deep into games. He's the guy that can complete them. He's the one that throws the no-hitters and the one-hitters. So take that example.
Trying to strike his way out of trouble. The 1-2. And a soft tapper foul.
You know, we build pitchers up in spring training from an inning of work to 2 innings to 3 innings, and we try and get them up close to 100 pitches, 6 innings or so. But if you don't build yourself up with that workload with the intensity, you're never going to be prepared to do it. And I think what pitchers are fearful of is they're going to run out of energy. But guess what? If you work at that intensity level the whole time, you actually build your endurance and you're able to maintain it. You got to put the work in.
Home plate umpire Mike DeMuro wanted him to move the rosin bag off of the top of the mound. Posey had complained that it was a distraction. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Brandon Belt at second with 2 out in the first inning. And Kenta Maeda home with the next one. Got him swinging. That thing bared in on his knuckles, and Maeda winds up with 3 strikeouts in the first inning. The Dodgers coming to bat against Derek Holland on the other side of this break. left-hander Derek Holland down the mound, and it starts with Chris Taylor and looks like this. Kike Hernandez starts at short and hits second. Corey Seager getting the day off. Then it's Puig in the 3 spot. Kemp bats clean up. Bellinger out of the 5 spot. Logan Forsythe at second. Austin Barnes and Kyle Farmer each making their first start of the season. Holland, 31 years old, signed a minor league contract with the Giants right before spring training after a rotten 2017 with the White Sox. Didn't look like he was going to make the roster. Then down goes Samardzija. Then down goes Bumgarner. And Holland finds himself in the season opening rotation.
Facing a lot of right-handers today. That's what he struggles with.
8 of them, in fact. Ball 1. He was the worst pitcher in baseball against right-handed hitters each of the last 2 years. It's home with a 1-0 to Chris Taylor, and that's over the inside corner for a strike.
Very bad with the walk and with the home run ball. A couple of things the Dodgers have not produced. Yesterday, no walk, and of course, no home runs yet. They are the only club in Major League Baseball without a home run now.
Taylor shanks it foul 1-2. You know, they're the first team, Oral, since 1943 to open the season with back-to-back 1-0 losses. The 1943 St. Louis Cardinals. And feel free to use this as a silver lining. Those Cardinals won 105 games in the National League pennant by 18 games. The MVP Stan Musial leading the way. 2 balls, 2 strikes on the leadoff man, Chris Taylor. Stays at 2-2.
Last day of March today, and the Dodgers will probably be glad to see April come here. Last year they didn't get off to a hot start, 10-12 before they ran off 104 victories.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Is 5 years in a row with the division title. 3 of those 5 seasons, they were below 500 at least a few weeks into the year. Another 2-2. And Taylor takes it a little bit low, full count. You mentioned 10-12 to start last year. 2 years ago at the end of April, they were a game below 500. And then before that 43-8 run that everybody talks about in 2013, they were 12 games below 500 in late June. Taylor starts the night with a walk.
Perfect job by the leadoff hitter to set the table for Kike.
He's back in there today after Chase Utley got his first start of the season last night. Opening day was 0 for 2, but walked twice. Now, one night after the Dodgers managed 1 base runner total, a Chris Taylor flare of a single. They get 1 base runner in their first try tonight. I don't know about you, Earl, but my glass is half full.
Mine too.
All right.
This roster was just presented with their National League Championship rings before the game. Memories from the video board on what a great season it was. The vibe in the dugout has to be fantastic to have that bling. Now they're looking for runs and W's.
Holland finally delivers the first one, and it's a strike on Hernandez. What were your thoughts on a National League Championship ring as opposed to, obviously winning the World Series is the goal, but having a ceremony for that?
Well, I love it for the fans. I think it's fantastic. I think it would have felt better for the players if they'd have a win or 2 under their belt. But as far as to celebrate with the fans, that's what they come for. They come to pull for their Dodgers, and they come to watch them win and fall only 1 win short from the big ring. A celebration and a ceremony on the field to let the people recognize the 2017 season one more last time, and now completely turn the page.
0-2, and Hernandez hits a high drive the other way. That ball is way back there and off the wall. It ricochets to the center fielder, Blanco. It's a double for Hernandez and a good start for the Dodgers.
A Volkswagen replay of TK Hernandez, and let's go back to 2017 and think about his power when he was in Wrigley Field in the playoffs. This ball Chris Taylor cannot score on in case McCutchen comes up with a circus catch. Almost gets it in the glove, but once it's off the wall, Taylor to third, Hernandez the second. First extra base hit of the year for the Dodgers.
Second and third, nobody out. Yasiel Puig to the plate. After Hernandez gets his first hit of the season, Puig looking for his. One ball and no strikes. So Puig's been the three-hitter in all three games, even with the changes in just about every other spot. Puig staying there as Dave Roberts had promised, giving him some runway early on. With Justin Turner out, that's Puig's spot. A 1-0 pitch and a line drive to center field. Blanco angles over and makes the catch. A sigh of relief and a run. Chris Taylor in to score, and the Dodgers lead it 1-0 with their first run of 2018.
Brilliant execution by the offense so far. The walk from Taylor, Kike Hernandez driving the ball to right center gap, and Yasiel Puig taking a nice solid batting practice swing, which he does for about a half hour every day, driving the ball to right field with Turner Ward. Well executed, and that's what a three-hole hitter does.
How does that feel in that dugout now? And you know, they're kind of joking with themselves, right? Like, we scored a run, we scored a run.
Get the ball.
And at third with one out. Kemp slashes a base hit to right center. Hernandez in to score on a Matt Kemp single, and the Dodgers lead it 2-0.
Fastball gets hit to right center. Yasiel Puig lines out to center field on a fastball. So Matt Kemp gets a slider down and in. That was Holland's most effective pitch last year. They hit below 200 on it. Matt Kemp said, not this year.
So Kemp's first RBI in his return to the Dodgers. Now Cody Bellinger looks at ball one. The only left-handed hitter in the lineup tonight. Looking for his first hit at 0 for 7 so far. Get the sense that it's a little bit contagious just seeing those shots of the dugout, the way that the Dodgers are reacting. And so often, Earl, when a team goes through a slump, and obviously this one magnified because it's the first 2 games of the season, but you see it snowball quickly when a team comes out of it.
They've had some good at-bats. They've hit in bad luck. They've hit against a guy that really has pitched well against them over the years. And Cueto yesterday. And Block has given him trouble, even though he doesn't have the resume.
Generous outside corner makes it 2-1.
Sure was.
Kemp at first with one out. Holland to Bellinger, 2-1. Ground ball to second. Joe Panic goes to Crawford. Returns it to first for a double play. 4-6-3, but that was a little more like it, wasn't it? The Dodgers get their first 2 runs of the season and lead 2-0 to the second. A season ago was 8-1 at Dodger Stadium with an ERA that sat below 3. It was one of the best in all of baseball pitching in his own ballpark.
Yeah, when you have to pitch in Arizona, if you're giving up a lot of fly balls, in Colorado, those can be tough places. But here at Dodger Stadium, they come to rest on the warning track usually. And Kenta was a little short as far as the fly ball activity last year in other ballparks. But here in Dodger Stadium, pitched very, very well.
3 strikeouts in the first inning around a Brandon Belt walk. 5, 6, and 7 for the Giants in the second. And it begins with Evan Longoria. Longoria's never started a season with 3 straight hitless games, but he's 0 for 8 through the first 2. Here in his first season somewhere other than Tampa Bay. Spent his first 10 years in a Rays uniform. Breaking ball, pulled to third, a diving stop, Kyle Farmer. What a play. The first time Farmer has a ball hit at him this season. He turns in a gem for the first out.
Boy, this young man, every time we see him on a Dodger field in the uniform, on the field or at the plate, turns into a highlight film, and that is another one for the reel. Outstanding play right there from foul territory. Understanding the clock, how fast the runner is. Solid throw, appreciated on the mound.
So Longoria is the first out. Brandon Crawford swings behind a fastball, strike 1. I don't think Kyle Farmer makes that play if he's still wearing 65.
No, it's a much heavier number.
For sure. Number 17 now, which was his number in high school and is his favorite number. It's when you know you've made it. You go from 65 to your favorite number.
And making it when you do near the last day of spring training, when you find out too.
Maeda pitches 0-2. That's ball 1. He was 16 as a football quarterback, Kyle Farmer was. And his number as a kid was 7, but got called up to varsity as a freshman in high school. And the star senior was wearing 7, so he took 17 and stuck with it. Ward at Georgia as well. Still 1-2. And remember, at Georgia, Kyle Farmer was an all-conference shortstop, was a 4-year starter at shortstop. So while we know him as a catcher coming up through the Dodgers system, this is what he, throughout his life, has done best. Two and two. You know, not only was he a high school quarterback, but he was in the movie The Blind Side, you know.
Really?
Yeah, as the action quarterback in the practice scenes on the movie. Got to meet Sandra Bullock. He said that was the highlight for him. Couldn't be paid, and so they couldn't show his face. Couldn't have his speaking role. This is because it was right after high school and needed his eligibility to go play at Georgia. NCAA rules kind of got in the way of that. But yeah, might as well call him a movie star. Crawford stays alive, still 2-2. Real deal though. He led his team to a state championship as an option quarterback. Most times he threw it in a game was like 6 or 7, but had one game where he carried it 40 times out of the wishbone.
That's why those hips got stiff and he had to work on them this winter to resculpt that body. It not only helped him behind the plate with catching, but the first step in the dive in the field.
8th pitch from Maeda. Gets him. Sharp break. 4th K. 2 out.
Number 8, Hunter Pence.
The breaking ball is getting a lot of swings and misses, and he's doing a nice job keeping the breaking ball down and elevating the fastball.
2 up, 2 down in the second, and here's Hunter Pence. Well, the Dodgers in front 2-0. Strike one. Pence about to turn 35 years old, and injuries have kind of ravaged the last few years of his career. He's moved from right to left with the McCutcheon addition. Reaches out and flips a pop-up into short right. Puig will play it on a bounce or two. And a 2-out single for Hunter Pence.
You had him fooled. Great location again, right off the end of the bat. Cue shot. That didn't give it enough velocity to reach Yasiel.
Keeps things alive for Gregor Blanco, who technically is a new addition this year for the Giants after 1 year away in Arizona, but played 5 seasons in San Francisco before last year. Strike one. Hard hit into right, base hit. Back-to-back 2-out singles for Pence and Blanco. And it gets the pitcher to the plate here in the second.
Hunter Pence not sniffing third base with this arm in right field, and with 2 outs, don't make the third out at third base. Already in scoring position. Yasiel gets the show off the gun here in 2018.
Blanco's got his first hit of the year, and Derek Holland stands in. Holland, not too many at-bats throughout his career because he's been in the American League his entire career, but he's a switch hitter. Looks at a strike.
Is he a switch hitter or a switch swinger? Who knows if he can hit. I wouldn't think being over there in Texas he'd be that good.
2 for 15 lifetime.
He's a swinger.
Here's the 0-1. And it's fouled back, 0-2.
I don't know about you, but the anxiety or the anxiousness of the Dodgers getting a run, maybe winning a game, it kind of even decompressed the press box up here a little bit.
Two on, 2 out, and an 0-2. Good stop by Barnes. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Maeda already has 4 strikeouts.
The Giants have swung the bat 18 times, and 10 times they have missed. So he has good stuff in the zone and around the zone.
A look at second and a 1-2 that's in the dirt, and it's 2-2.
This is an action pitch right here. 2 strikes, 2 outs, runners in scoring position, and the pitcher up. You do not want to get to that 3-2 hangman count where you really have to throw a strike.
Maeda having to throw a lot of pitches in this inning. 2 on, 2 out. 2-2 is upstairs, and it goes full, so the runners will get a head start. Joe Panik due next. Derek Holland making Maeda work.
Outfield is really shallow, so even though you're going to be going with 2 strikes and 2 outs right here, who knows? Not sure you'll have a shot at home, but you might have a shot at another base.
There's strike 3. Maeda with his 5th K through 2 scoreless innings. A little bit of help at the hot corner from Kyle Farmer. The first ball hit at him this season. A sprawling, dazzling defensive play.
All season long. Sign up now through April 2nd at tmobile.com/MLB.
Dodgers 2, Giants nothing. Second inning, and Logan Forsythe to lead it off. Against Derek Holland, who's in there with strike 1. Barnes and Farmer to follow. Against the man they call Dutch Oven. You know why they call him that, Oral?
I would like to know.
Well, the Dutch part, Holland.
Yep.
And back when he started his career, he had a really hard fastball. And some fans came up with the idea. They had it on a sign. It's hit hard but foul, and it's 1-2. Sign said Dutch Oven bringing the heat, and he loved it and embraced it.
He's got a little bit of a quirky personality.
Sure does. It's inside 2-2. You've seen his impersonations.
A few.
Did you see the one he did during spring training when he did an entire interview as Kermit the Frog?
I did. I did not.
Spot on.
Wow.
And didn't break character throughout the entire in-game interview.
Oh my.
2-2. Ball 3.
I wonder if you had to pay a royalty.
If it's good enough, maybe you should. Other specialties for him. Kenny Powers from Eastbound and Down. I don't know if you've seen that show. If not, you should check it out. Harry Carey.
Yeah, I've seen the Harry Carey.
Off of Longoria's glove. Crawford bare hands and eats it. And Forsythe the board to start the second.
Kyle Farmer's the only one that can figure out third base. Logan Forsythe made 3 boots over there at third base last night, and you will never see that again. You probably rarely will see this Gold Glover here from the past boot a ball that easy.
It is an error. Forsythe the board to open the inning, and here comes Austin Barnes. The other impersonation Derek Holland is really good at is Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold had heart surgery this week and is resting well, I read. I also read, and this was on time.com, so I think it's a pretty good source, that the first thing he said when he woke up from surgery, "I'm back." Seems like an easy joke, but it happened.
Yeah.
Nothing in 2.
The 2 impersonations of Holland that I remember are Harry Carey and that one.
Always adding to his repertoire, though. He's been doing impressions since he was young. A way for him to keep things loose in the clubhouse, and just a pretty good match for his personality. Barnes takes ball 1.
Remember his times with the Rangers, it was like his mustache was getting as much headlines as anything else. It's a little calmer nowadays, almost gone really. Just a little shadow there. He's one of those narrow, skinny ones.
What do you think? Is that did he shave this morning and that's the shadow that's back? Or?
I think he didn't. He shaved yesterday morning and has let it go. I think that's a day and a little bit.
Part of his between start routine. Get it lined up so it's TV ready.
Yeah, guys do have their looks.
Yeah, it's definitely not this morning. Runner at first, nobody out. Another 1-2 pitch to Austin Barnes. Hit hard, but directly at Panic. 4-6-3. Second double play they've turned in as many innings.
Third baseman, number 17, Kyle Farmer.
Now Farmer for his first at bat of the season. Not too many guys had better springs at the plate than Kyle Farmer did. And really, it probably took the Justin Turner injury for Farmer to make the team, just with a trickle down in number of roster spots. But once a spot became available, there was nobody more deserving from what they did during spring training than this guy.
And momentum from his teammates too. They love having this guy around. I think they appreciate that he doesn't melt down in the big situations.
Gets under it, and in center field, Gregor Blanco. Dodgers get the leadoff man on, but a double play ball helps Derek Holland face the minimum. After 2-0. At LA is brought to you by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers, or visit SoCalBMW.com. And by Jack in the Box. Come try the new food truck series featuring 3 new food truck inspired sandwiches only at Jack in the Box. National League championship rings handed out to the players and the coaching staff prior to the game today, and we have one of them here in the booth with us that we can show off for you up close.
Yeah.
Come off there.
Gorgeous. White gold, all the diamonds in there.
Guide me, Oral.
Come on closer, go closer to the camera. Closer, there you go. Stop now.
You want me to like spin it?
Try and get a little focus on it. You know? Not being able to focus. Yeah, we're fine.
We just got high reg shots of it, but you know, this is the real thing.
I just get to hold the box.
Can I put it on you?
Oh, I don't know. Let me see. I don't.
Will you?
No. No.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit. Sorry.
Dang.
If it would have fit, we'd have thought about it.
Yeah.
You'd have had to tell Libby, and I would have had to tell Dana.
Right. They would have understood.
Yeah.
Joe Panik to lead off this third for the Giants. Dodgers in front 2-0, getting a pair in the first. Breaking balls high. It's 1-0. Maeda was able to strike Panik out to open the night. Panik's going to make himself into public enemy number one of Dodger fans if he keeps doing what he's done the first 2 days of this series. 1 ball and 1 strike. Good player. He's been an all-star before. He's a first-round pick. He's 27 years old now and is the only regular on these Giants under the age of 30. On a 1-1 pitch, the second baseman cracks his bat on a flare into center. Out goes Hernandez and can't quite get there. He now has 4 hits in this series. 2 have left the yard. 2 have broken his bat.
Off the end of the bat like Hunter Pence was. This was a changeup. The Pence pitch was a slider, and it just finds outfield grass right there by the edge of the A. Carved into the greenery out there.
Leadoff man on, and Brandon Belt to the plate. Career high 18 homers last year. Swings through a fastball, strike 1. And that's despite missing the final 2 months with a concussion. Concussion's always scary, especially in the case of a guy like Belt. It's the 4th one that he suffered. Other than 2. Hit 1 in college. Hit 1 in 2014. 1 in 2015. And then the one last year, which Brandon's admitted really took its toll. He had the typical headaches and dizziness that come with him, but said he was often lethargic afterwards. And then it was trickling over at home too. Wasn't nearly as patient with his wife or their young son. Didn't really care to socialize. Wasn't big on being at the ballpark and around his teammates. Didn't laugh as much. For several months, Brandon wasn't himself, and he admitted, he said depression is probably the right word for it. It's an article on The Athletic from Andrew Baggerly where Belt really opened up and talked about what he went through, what his family went through as a result.
Concussions are a big topic nowadays, of course, in the NFL and around youth sports, and baseball being very sensitive too.
A 29-year-old from Texas on a 1-2 pitch. Fouls it back.
Attacking him up and in with the fastball here, trying to tie him up. He is so good. He can even pull for a home run, the away pitch. The swing has a tendency to kind of come around the ball, so as you're doing that, it's a little longer. You can beat somebody inside. On top of the plate, kind of wraps the bat a little bit around his helmet.
Takes high, 2-2. And he's someone who's been somewhat of a whipping boy for Giants fans, just because you know, a first baseman that's his size, you think power guy, right? But Brandon Belt has kind of adopted Joey Votto's approach of zoning in on one spot, looking for his pitch and taking his walks when they're there. So he's much more of an on-base percentage guy, especially in the home ballpark they play in. Fouls it back and stays alive at 2-2. Much more of an on-base guy than he is a traditional power-hitting first baseman.
Well, you can get frustrated as an offensive player in San Francisco. That home ballpark does not lend itself to runs, and you could see why he would adopt that philosophy a little bit, and maybe hope that he'd open his swing up a little bit more on the road.
You know, he had the 3rd highest walk rate in the National League last year.
I did not know that.
And he's worked it full here. Walked his first time tonight against Maeda. McCutchen due next, and a 2-0 game in the 3rd.
You need a strike. You've been inside the hole at bat. I'm not sure you go all the way back in there, but it would go something different if you want to throw a strike.
8th pitch. Got him with a back foot breaking ball. 1 out.
Well, they gave him the height, which is Belt wants to get the ball down, get the ball down. I want that fastball up and in. So he gives him something down, but then it continues down. Gets him to swing by what he visually shows him, but then takes it away from him with the break.
The 6th strikeout of the game for Kenta Maeda, and here's Andrew McCutchen with 1 on and 1 out. "31-year-old McCutchen just enjoying being one of the guys finally." He carried the weight of that franchise on his shoulders in Pittsburgh for his entire time there. 9 seasons. The team that drafted him in the 1st round. Got some Pirates fans in the house tonight, although it looks like they are more McCutchen fans than they are Pirates fans. Converting with those Giants hats. Slowly hit. Farmer's got it. Goes to second to get the lead runner. And a nice play by Logan Forsythe to pull that high throw down.
A play like that will reveal ability, but it will reveal makeup, because he could easily have just said, I'm just going to take the routine out, the sure thing for the young guy to get done. But no, he plays the game completely, plays it on the edge, and understands what he can do and what he should do, and got the lead runner.
Nice play too by Forsythe. Get his foot back down to the bag. So McCutchen's at first with 2 out, and Posey's the hitter.
The pitcher really appreciates that choice from Kyle Farmer. 2 out, a man on second, compared to 2 out and a man on first is a lot different pitch selection to this hitter.
Fouled back, 0-1. Struck Posey out his first time. Posey's still hitless this year. We're talking about the heart of this order struggling over the first couple games. Posey, McCutchen, and Longoria combined are 1 for 28. Bullet to center, base hit. Also known as Dew.
Farmer saves a run. The inning continues, but there's still a 0 on the board because of the nice play by the 3rd baseman. Fastball up. Kent has been throwing that an awful lot so far this game, has established it, and Posey said no more.
So his first hit of the season puts him at first and second with 2 out. And Evan Longoria now goes hunting for his. A local guy. Started playing baseball when he was 4 years old in a church league at St. Dominic Savio in Bellflower. At the high school there, St. John Bosco. And then the 3rd overall pick out of Long Beach State. And backs up over the plate for a strike. 0-1.
So one you kick yourself on right there if you're Kenta. Team stakes you to a 2-0 lead. Little 2-out rally going on right here, and you throw a little hanging slider on the inner half to a guy who's hit plenty of those in the seats.
Probably kick yourself if you're Longoria too.
Yep.
Same spot, different result though. 1-1.
Big shift for Longoria hitting in San Francisco compared to Tampa Bay as far as how far the ball goes and what it sounds like. It doesn't really get knocked down by the wind indoors.
1-2. Maeda hitting 93 with a fastball. Got robbed of a hit by Kyle Farmer on a diving play his first time up. 2 on, 2 out. 2-0 Dodgers in the 3rd.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a little slider in the dirt right here. He's shown the fastball throughout the inning. Has established it in this at bat.
Good call.
Another one of those action pitches. You don't want to get to 3-2 where a double scores a runner from first and second because they start. So 2-2, you want action if you're on defense.
Here it comes. Longoria strikes out. Maeda with 7 strikeouts through 3 innings and a 2-0 lead to the bottom half.
Mini plans are on sale now. Choose from 3, including the 12-game bobblehead plan featuring the newly introduced Justin Turner walk-off home run bobblehead presented by State Farm and the Kenley Calrissian Star Wars bobblehead. For more information, visit Dodgers.com/mini-plans.
There's Justin Turner. It'll be good to have him back. Maeda starts the inning, takes a strike from Derek Holland. There's no timetable, although he says that he's close to picking up a bat, which seems like it's in a hurry. But it'll be as pain tolerance goes. 0-2. Tries to lay off, can't. First strikeout of the game for Holland, and we check in with Alana.
Justin Turner was kind enough to join us, guys, for the pregame show earlier today and gave us an update on his progress as far as that small non-displaced fracture in the left wrist. He says he's feeling pretty good. He's not having to wear any sort of cast or brace. It's a removable brace that he's been wearing right now, and he was able to actually get on the field today earlier and throw balls over to first base. And he joked and he said it was actually Jock Peterson at first base, and he said, hey, do you want to play some catch? So he's making good progress forward. He said he's hoping that within the next couple of weeks he doesn't feel any sort of pain. They told him originally it could be out for 4 weeks or it could be out for 10 weeks. He's like, well, that doesn't really narrow it down, but he's feeling good and making good progress towards coming back.
Yeah, and Alana, there are different guys that you can find on each end of that spectrum and how soon it heals up. Tearing the cover off the ball around here. It's inside. It's 1-1. One of the guys that he talked to was Freddie Freeman of the Braves, who opened last season with a fractured wrist. He missed 6 weeks, but you can find guys on the longer end of that spectrum missing 10 to 12 weeks. Taylor shoots one to right. McCutcheon sprinting, diving, can't get it, and it gets by him. Taylor, the speedster, bolting for third. It's a stand-up triple.
This triple is brought to you by Morongo. Little two-seamer on the outer half off the end of the bat. Because of that, loses a little speed, gains a little extra curvature, and turns into a triple because of the wheels on number 3. Very easy read for him and Chris Woodward to be standing there together.
First Dodger triple of the season. He's at third as Hernandez swings away. Sends a fly ball to center. Taylor's tagging. Blanco's calling. Makes the catch. Here's his throw for the play. No chance. 3-0.
Man on third and less than 2 outs. Use the middle of the field. Exactly what Kike Hernandez did.
Similar to what Yasiel Puig did for the game's first run. To bring Taylor in back in the first inning, and here he is. Holland pitches. Puig swings and hits it foul. Weren't seeing too many smiles like that over the first 2 days of the year. Weren't seeing much huffing and puffing either because they weren't running anywhere. They were just walking back and forth between the dugout and home plate. Ball on a strike.
Feels like old times.
They did, by the way, avoid matching the franchise record season opening scoreless streak. Avoided it by 1 inning. Puig chases 1 and 2. 1968, they went the first 19 innings of the season without a run. And then won the third game 1-0 on a second inning home run from Ron Fairley. Don Drysdale had a complete game shutout. They had to be thinking, okay, now we go. But then that 1968 team went another 23 innings in a row without a run. Big down the line, foul. So that's 1 run over the first 43 innings of the 1968 season. And that was a snapshot of what that year would be like for a lot of teams. The year of the pitcher, and the year that led to Major League Baseball lowering the mound. That was the year that included Don Drysdale's scoreless streak. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Puig.
Bob Gibson had 2 scoreless streaks that year that were north of, I think, 35 or 37 innings also. Danny McLean won 31 games. Mickey Lolich won 3 in the World Series.
The Tigers went on to win the World Championship in '68, the last time the mound was higher.
Holland to Puig 2-2. Chased again. Chased a couple of times in that bat. A little bit uncharacteristic from what Puig has evolved into. It's 3-0 through 3 innings at Dodger Stadium.
Against the San Francisco Giants. A good reason to come to the ballpark tonight is because the Dodgers scored a run. I think they're going to do it a few more times this season. Another reason to come to the ballpark, all of the different special events and promotions the Dodgers have throughout the season. This is just over the course of the next couple of months. When the Nationals come to town, so does Hello Kitty. And of course, continuing to partner with the variety of schools in our area. USC night on April 23rd, UCLA night for the Bruins on May 11th, and Cal Poly Pomona night, in addition to Military Appreciation Day on May 23rd. Always something fun going on at the stadium, guys.
All right, Alana. Brandon Crawford opens this 4th inning and takes ball 1 from Kenta Maeda. You know, Hello Kitty is not a kitty.
Okay.
Nope. It's a young girl.
Wow.
Learned that the hard way last year. I had the gumption to call Hello Kitty a kitty. And Twitter ate me alive.
And with a young daughter, that's one of the few giveaways that a lot of times you need to take home.
Yeah. 1 ball, 1 strike on Crawford. Struck out his first time. That's one of the 7 Ks for Maeda through 3 innings. That'll reach the seats 1 and 2.
The scoreboard is in control at 3-0. Kenta Maeda with his 7 Ks is in control, but his pitch count is getting a little out of control at 61. Remember last year he threw about 82 pitches per start and topped out a little over 100 only twice. He's got the strikeout ball working and the ground ball working.
Eight punch outs for Kenta Maeda. Over 3 1/3 against San Francisco.
This is a reminder of playoff Kenta, where in 10 2/3 innings he only gave up 1 run and was dominant and attacking like this. Nice to see it as a starter.
One out for Hunter Pence. Who singled his first time. Takes a wicked rip and misses, strike 1. Such a high energy guy. And regardless of what team you cheer for, it's hard to not smile when you watch Hunter Pence play. A little hesitation from Maeda. Perhaps throws off the timing for Hunter Pence, and a soft foul ball makes it 0-2.
Is he Daddy Longlegs at the plate? Is he a praying mantis? What is he? He looks like some kind of critter.
Liner to right. Puig was positioned perfectly and then made a shoestring catch. Pence is looking out there saying, how in the world did you know I was going to hit it right there?
Old-fashioned hard ball. Swing hard, throw it hard, catch it perfectly. The data is accurate and the glove is sure.
That's a win for advanced scouting and analytics right there. Puig shading the line, Pence hitting it right in that spot. 2 up, 2 down in the 4th, and Gregor Blanco. Joe's bunt looks at ball 1. Singled in his first at bat of the year. Two and 0. He's 34 now. He says he's as fast as he's been since he was 16 when he signed his first pro contract with the Braves way back in 2000. That's a strike. 2-1. All he ever wanted to do was play baseball growing up in Venezuela. And a family full of boys. Gregor, his twin Gregory, his younger brother Gregsman. Really?
I got you.
2-1. 2-2.
I knew you wouldn't pull our leg that long.
No, no.
You wouldn't continue on.
I wouldn't make it 3 brothers. I might do 1 if I was kidding, but no.
Your sense of humor is not that wet.
No, it's. His mom had a sign out in their front lawn that said the Gregs.
Okay. Accurate.
So just like the ring of it. And Gregor has passed it on to his son, Gregor the second. Dodgers 3, Giants nothing. 4th inning. Right in command. He's home with a 2-2. Barely got a piece to stay alive.
You know, the goal now for Kenta Maeda is to get 4 more outs, be in line for a W, keep the scoreboard at 3-0. At 71 pitches, Dave Roberts, Bob Guerin there grinding on a few things. You know, Rick Honeycutt is watching every pitch. First start out of spring training. Don't want to push him too far.
Fly to left. Kemp a long way to go. Won't get there. Able to hold Blanco to his single.
Dodgers almost recording an out right down the right field line on Pence, and right there Kemp had a shot at that one. Positioned well again, but this one finds a little hole because it's not hit quite as hard as Pence's ball, so it doesn't reach Kemp's depth.
Blanco's 2 for 2, and Derek Holland to the plate. Worked the count full against Maeda his first time before succumbing on a strikeout. Ball 1. How about Dodgers starting pitching so far this season? Clayton Kershaw just the 1 run over 6 innings. That's a balk, by the way, on Maeda, and he knew it. And that will move Blanco into scoring position.
Started something and stopped something. Take a look again. Gets on the pitching plate. Looks in for the sign. Shakes off. Shakes off. Oh, there it is. The shoulder and the head went up. You mentioned the good starting pitching. They are now the #1 pitching staff as far as ERA in all of the big leagues. after recording the 3 runs from the offense against the #1 staff, which was the Giants.
It's a shame that what Alex Wood did last night got so overshadowed by the lack of offense and by Joe Panik's home run against Kenley Jansen. But for Alex Wood, statistically, that matched the best start of his career. 8 innings matched the long. And just 1 run allowed over those 8 innings. On a 2-1, Holland takes a strike.
One of the great things about Kenta Maeda is you can get any pitch in any count. Man on second, 2 out. Pitcher at the plate, 2-0 count. Slider. 2-1 count, I apologize.
Now a 2-2. Strikes him out. 9 of them for Maeda through 4 innings. 3-0 to the bottom of the 4th. Opening weekend at Dodger Stadium. Giants taking the first 2 games 1-0, but the Dodgers so far on top in this one by a score of 3-0. Joe Davis, Orel Hershiser, and Alana Rizzo. Dave Roberts and the Silver Fox chatting down in that Dodger dugout as the middle third of the order gets ready to bat. And here's Matt Kemp.
Chase Utley is not ready to hang it up at all. But I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised someday to see him down there in a coaching or managing role in somebody's uniform. Hopefully it would be here in Southern California as a Dodger.
Derek Holland back to work against Kemp, who not going to run with a base hit his first time. Utley has said that he has no immediate desire to coach or be in a uniform or be around it every day once his playing career is over. Chase has 2 young sons, wants to be around them more often. Again, that's once he's finished playing.
I was playing with Mike Scioscia for many years, and he protesteth too much when he talked about, oh, there's no way, I'll go away, I'm going home. I watch out for those loud talkers when they say, oh, yeah, I'm not going to do it. Now Scioscia's managed 19 years in the big leagues.
Holland to Kemp, 1-1. Tries to lay off. Can't. 1-2.
Seems like check swings that are done quickly seem like they go farther than ones that are done a little slower. And that one, I thought he did a very nice job of holding up.
The 1-2. Takes this one low, and it's 2-2. Matt not wanting to get too upset about it. His mom Judy is in the house. You can't do that when she's here. She'd be mad.
Excuse me for laughing. Not full bore.
In town from Oklahoma City. They're very close. His mom and his grandmother, they combined to raise him. His father was in his life too, and actually his dad was the one who kind of got him involved in baseball. Matt was mostly a basketball player in his earlier days. He didn't put his full focus on baseball until his senior year of high school. Leading off this fourth inning, striking out. Second of the day for Holland. Yeah, with one out, up comes Cody Bellinger, one of the 4 rookies of the year playing in this series. We got the last 2 in the National League, Bellinger and Seager. Back to 2010 in Posey, and in the American League in 08, it was Evan Longoria.
Dodgers with the highest batting averages that did it, and the most home runs that got it done.
Both those guys in their 30s now. Bellinger takes low, ball 1. And both have spoken recently about how early on in their careers everybody told them, hey, it flies by, make sure you enjoy every step. And they've reflected how, man, it really has flown by. 2-0.
Posey with a few world championship rings, 10, 12, and 14. Longoria has not experienced that, but him enjoying the Giants with McCutchen to maybe rebuild their organization to their championship ways. Dodgers definitely want to get in the way of that again.
Healthy cut, 2-1.
You know, we've had some special days here with opening day and then Kirk Gibson's bobblehead day last night. I had a special morning this morning. I was out at the Puente Hills Mall signing autographs with Tommy Lasorda and Kirk Gibson. Got to spend the whole morning with those guys, and it was a blast again. It's been absolutely amazing to be around Kirk the last 3 days and to see him, to see how healthy and strong he is and committed. And he's had an awful lot of fun putting the Dodger top on and being welcomed by all these fans again.
See if Bellinger gets one to hammer on 3-1. Instead, he takes ball 4 on a borderline pitch. Second walk issued by Holland tonight. 1 on with 1 out.
Logan Forsythe.
Forsythe reached on an error his first time and is looking for his first hit of the season. Strike 1. Logan Forsythe out of Memphis, Tennessee originally. And he and his wife Allie bought some land back in Tennessee near Memphis. 64-acre farm. In fact, they had just closed on that land when he got the call that he'd been traded to the Dodgers a couple of off seasons ago. So there they are. They think that they've found a piece of their future, and they got it all laid out. He's going to go play for the Rays. He'll come back and start building on this land, building a house, and I'm not sure what he wants to do with it yet, but just having all that land and that peace and quiet. And he gets the phone call, hey, we traded you. Didn't affect the fact that they had closed on the land and have that long term, but it certainly altered what he's doing from March through October each season. But he loves the peace and the quiet in the offseason. And if you know Logan, that makes sense. He's not a guy who enjoys the spotlight much. Doesn't enjoy a whole lot of small talk. This guy is by the book, a businessman when it comes to baseball. On an 0-2, he takes ball one.
Security in baseball for veteran big leaguers now comes from your salary, but location can change and not be as secure for the family. And we're seeing no matter how good you are.
Down on strikes. Second one of the inning for Holland. 2 away, and Friday and an all-new Backstage Dodgers go behind the scenes of opening day. The team honors Kirk Gibson, and you can hear from Gibson himself making his return to Dodger Stadium, reliving one of the iconic moments in baseball history. Backstage Dodgers presented by Cadillac is right after the post game on Friday. 2 outs, a runner at first in a 3-0 game, and here's Barnes. Barnes was also traded to the Dodgers, but it was a little bit different reaction to the phone call when he got it. They had this small town guy in Logan Forsythe going from just purchasing all this land in Tennessee for peace and quiet, getting traded to Los Angeles. Well, Barnes grew up here in Riverside, and so a dream come true when he got that call. It's a fly ball down the right field line. McCutcheon runs out of room. Riverside, California. He was originally drafted by the Marlins. One of the first deals that Andrew Friedman made included Austin Barnes. Led the majors among catchers in on-base percentage and was among the top 10 or so players, period, in on-base percentage last year. One and two.
It was a ball he wanted to crush right there, and a good swing at it. He fouled it back. Smelling the wood right there, not kissing his bat like Yasiel Puig might do, or lick it. We've seen Puig do. I don't get why.
He says he's loving his bat, so it'll love him back. Okay. I'm just the messenger, Oral.
Did you walk up and say, hey, why do you lick your bat? And then he said that, or did you just overheard it in a conversation?
He's been quoted.
Been quoted.
Yeah. I figured that was, that was enough to read the quote. Not necessarily a path I wanted to go down with him.
No.
Good stop by Posey, and he's got Bellinger off of the bag. The throw gets by Belt, and Bellinger will take second.
Good help down there by George Lombard. Cody's worried about getting back to first, but then the ball gets away, and he looks up, and George is pointing to right field. Cody says, oh, okay. Picks it up, sees the distance, and takes off.
Turns it into an RBI chance for Barnes here with 2 out in the 4th inning. Derek Collins, 2-2. Just inside, full count.
Something we got used to last year with that 408 on-base percentage from Austin Barnes. His ability to grind out at bats and take good borderline pitches.
Part of why you saw that high on-base percentage. Bellinger at second with 2 gone, and a payoff pitch. Barnes earns the walk on a couple of borderline pitches. Good patience. Holland can't believe it. The 2 on with 2 out.
Pass the baton. Well, it looked very close live, and boy, I don't know. Very good take or a very fortunate call.
A little bit of both, maybe. And Kyle Farmer gets a 2 out chance. Inside corner for a strike.
Throw 3 in there, get 1 call.
Ball one.
Well, Bellinger with more speed than first baseman, and Austin Barnes with more speed than catchers, and Kyle Farmer with gap power for sure. He could bust this one open with a 2-out extra base hit.
Here's the 1-1. Swings away and sends a lazy fly ball to right center field. Blanco and McCutchen come together, and a disaster of a miscommunication does indeed bust down the door. 2-run score, and the Dodgers lead at 5-0.
Andrew McCutchen, usually a center fielder in Pittsburgh, goes over there not used to getting called off. Gregor Blanco does enough waving and calling, but still McCutchen stays close, doesn't give him any room. That little bit of distraction and closing the glove a little early cost them 2 unearned runs.
Third error of the night on San Francisco. A 5-0 lead, and Maeda to the plate with 2 out. Ruled that an error on Blanco. Even though, like you said, he did what he's supposed to do, and then McCutchen made it a little more difficult. A strike. You know, McCutchen over the last 2 years was rated as the single worst defensive outfielder in the majors.
That is very odd for a guy that was very, very good.
Other than 2, and I think we're still trying to figure out the best way to quantify defense. But by defensive runs saved, -44 over the last 2 years. You hear all about how bad Matt Kemp has been defensively. Kemp was -35 the last 2 years. -35 for Kemp, -44 for McCutchen. And 0-2, Maeda smacks a ground ball to Panic at second. But the Dodgers take advantage of some sloppy play from the Giants and lead at 5-0 to the 5th. Just now coming out after making the last out last inning. Take a look at the Carls camp.
Well, he has made them chase the ball when it's been down. He's done a nice job locating his fastball. The Giants have been chasing up and in, down, the changeup, the slider, the breaking ball, and also hit his spots. And intensity has been there. 77 pitches so far, 52 for strikes. He has been locked and loaded.
Giants open for better success, third time through the order now. And this is kind of the in vogue thing in baseball right now. What happens third time through the order? More often, all the time, we're not finding out. You're seeing teams go to the bullpen. And the thinking behind that is that a hard throwing reliever is going to be more effective than a tiring starter.
And you know what? Even if the starter is not tiring, you're finding guys getting pulled because the third time you see a guy. So the information exchange between a pitcher and a hitter, all of a sudden, less of a mystery the third time around. So even if the stuff is almost the same, maybe they've seen all the pitches and know where you like to go tonight for your out pitch. And you have to have one more gear or a few more tools to get through orders the third time. That hasn't been done in a vacuum, Joe. You know, they have thickened bullpens.
Oh, yeah.
As far as number of bodies.
Most teams at this point carrying 8 relievers. And the other thing that has done is it's made guys like Kike Hernandez for the Dodgers or Ben Zobrist for the Cubs or whoever it may be that can play multiple positions that much more valuable, because you're cutting down the number of position players that you have in favor of going with the extra reliever. Joe Panik, top of the order, takes strike one.
In my day, when the bullpens were, let's say, 5 guys, you could have a specific right-handed hitter that didn't really play defense very well on the bench. You could have a specific left-handed hitter.
Ground ball to first. Cody Bellinger takes it himself.
And then you'd have that one defender like a Kike Hernandez, a Darryl Thomas, a Mickey Hatcher, somebody that could play all over the field, that could help you round out your bench and be a glove for the bats that you might use or the pinch runner you might have. But now they try and encompass that all in one person with a Kike Hernandez.
Dave Roberts coming out with Maeda's interpreter, Will Ireton. And Kenta, I don't know if you saw during his warm-up tosses, was kind of massaging his back, his upper back. These are the warm-ups a few moments ago. And he quickly sends Dave Roberts and the training staff away. This is middle back.
Yeah, that's a kind of a gesture you see when all of a sudden something is tightening up. You want to just hit it, kind of like remind yourself, come on, use that part of your body.
Last out when he was hitting, and he made the last out last inning. He winces. Brandon Belt unloads on the first pitch. Skyscraping fly ball to Chris Taylor. 2 up, 2 down.
That helps. You had 77 pitches, still kind of arching that back, testing it. And I'm sure this will be his last inning. Only 3 pitches to record those 2 outs. Really helps when you got something maybe stiffening up on you.
I guess that explains too why it took so long between innings to come out.
He might have been quickly lifting his jersey up and rubbing some hot stuff on his back.
2 outs from McCutcheon. Nicely framed by Barnes for strike 1. Been a great season debut for Kenta Maeda. Following in the footsteps of Kershaw and Wood the first 2 nights of the season. The difference is tonight Maeda's gotten some run support. 2 in the first, 1 in the third, and 2 in the fourth. A ball and 2 strikes. He's not really shown any signs of it bothering him, whatever it is that tightened up.
You have a tendency when you come to land and start to deliver the ball at the end of your delivery there to kind of arch your back to protect that instead of getting through the pitches. So if he can keep the ball down and away.
Another weak pop-up. Will Barnes have room? Not quite.
Subconsciously, as an athlete, when you got something like that going on, Kent is such a great athlete that the adjustment he'll make is just to quicken up his upper body, make the arm swing a little shorter and tighter so that he can get the ball down if he wants to. The pitches above the waist are much easier if your back is tightening up. You can throw the back of the ball and try and let the ball ride. You got to throw the top or the front of the ball to get the ball down. Good to have that anger, though. That adrenaline helps you forget pain.
(3-2) to Andrew McCutchen. A backup slider that's pulled foul. Ross Stripling getting loose in the Dodger bullpen. Dodgers hoping they can get him a clean inning, start the 6th. So Maeda can finish this. It'll be the 9th pitch that he'll have to throw to McCutchen. Was homered against him twice in his career, and so the longer this at-bat goes, the more you kind of hold your breath. A payoff and a pop-up.
7 pitches over his start average last year, maxed out at 104. First start of the season. We would love for this inning to end on this pitch. Dave Roberts keep him right there at 90. Gets Stripling in the game next inning.
Got him swinging. Kenta Maeda with a 10 strikeout performance tonight. Halfway home in a 5-0 game. Toyota dealers. It's Toyota's Ready, Set, Go sales event. Now get amazing deals on a tough new Tacoma. Handed out National League Championship rings tonight. This is during the National League Championship MVP trophy presentation in Chicago last year. Chris Taylor and Justin Turner sharing that honor. And Taylor to lead off this 5th against Derek Holland. The Dodgers in front 5-0. Taylor goes the other way with a fly ball that Andrew McCutchen settles under for the first out. Maeda and Rick Honeycutt engaged in discussion. For Will Ireton, who is like Kenta's shadow. And Will has said that it's hard not to kind of live and die with every pitch the same way that I'm sure Kenta's family does and Kenta does himself. And so much of Will's life is dictated by how Kenta performs. A strike on Kike Hernandez.
Job security.
Yeah, that too. Yep. Changeup makes it 0-2 on Hernandez. Doubled and scored and drove in a run with the sac fly. One and two.
Dodgers finish this one off. Have a chance for a split tomorrow night on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. And they would head off to Arizona and then to San Francisco.
2-2. Stripling continues to get loose. Looks like the sixth will be his. And bullpen coach Mark Pryor looks on. Just a little bit in, and Holland has several times tonight wanted that inside corner and not gotten it from Mike DeMuro.
The corner has been very tight.
You're talking about the Dodgers trying to split this series. The Giants last year in 26 road series won 3 of them. So trying to do something that was very rare for them a year ago to open this season. They need one more win to do it. The Dodgers ahead 5-0 here in the 5th. 3-2 again. Fly ball to center. Playable for Blanco.
They're also trying to get their 3rd win of the start of season. It'll be the first time they've done that since 2010. And they won the World Championship that year.
Beat Derek Collins' Rangers.
That's right.
2 gone for Puig.
Collins set up one of the last giant rallies with some walks before he was pulled.
Puig goes after the first pitch. That will go out of play. Holland out of Newark, Ohio. Didn't receive any college interest there. He really wasn't even the best pitcher on his high school staff. So he graduates high school without a plan. His dad pays $1,200 for him to go to a camp, a showcase tryout camp in Arizona. And catches the attention of a junior college coach from Alabama who gives him an offer. His lone offer to a junior college in Alabama. So he flies back to Ohio, packs up his 2002 Honda Accord, which is rusted out at this point, and makes the drive down to Huntsville, Alabama, where he starts his career and is eventually drafted by the Rangers. Posey puts it away and finishes a 1-2-3-5 for the former Huntsville Community College star.
Baseball just wouldn't be baseball without the hot dogs.
in the office or on the go with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Who's in, who's out, brought to you by In-N-Out. Kenta Maeda, 5 shutout innings and hands the ball to the bullpen, and Ross Stripling for his season debut.
Considers himself a starter, but has really wrapped his arms around being a reliever and has done an outstanding job, a reliable piece to the bullpen, and if at any time called on, will give you a nice solid start.
Middle third of the Giants order, Buster Posey takes strike one. And Ross Stripling, over his couple years in the majors, has built up a high amount of trust with his manager. That's such an important thing between a manager and a reliever. Part of that is personality. Dave knows that Ross is the unflappable type. Posey shoots one to right center. That's peeling towards the gap, and it'll split it. Up against the wall. Puig's throw to second. Not in time. A leadoff double.
Posey's first hit of the year was a high fastball off of Kenta Maeda. Here Ross Stripling going back to the same area, but it leaks over the middle of the plate. Posey pulls the hands in and drives it to right center.
Giants actually out hitting the Dodgers in this game 6-3. Trailing 5-0 as Evan Longoria comes up. A curve fouled off, strike one. So with Maeda's 5 shutout innings tonight, Dodgers starters 19 innings and 1 run allowed.
Very fast start. Outstanding. Rich Hill is yet to take the hill.
Will tomorrow. And then Ryu, game 1 in Arizona Monday. How great did it line up, by the way, for Rich Hill with his alma mater in the Final Four, playing the semifinals Saturday night, which they won, beating Loyola Chicago. His start falls on the off day for the Final Four, and then the national championship game Monday. Longoria hits it off of the hands in the air to right for Puig.
I thought it was amazing when he asked Dave Roberts for that schedule that Dave gave it to him.
Right. Got to understand, Skip, the Wolverines are in the Final Four.
Exactly.
Shortstop Brandon Crawford.
I'll be distracted. You've got to give me some off days there. I'll pitch in between the games.
You know, actually, Derek Holland, the Giants starter tonight, while he grew up in Ohio, he's a diehard Michigan fan. They had finished off the win before he took the mound. I wonder how much he allowed himself to watch in the lead up to first pitch. 1 on 1 out. Here's Brandon Crawford looking at a ball. One and one. Two and one.
You know, coming into this game, it was Joe Panik 2, other Giants nothing, Dodgers nothing. There's not a lot of offense over there other than Panik. He has been the sole factor in their 2 runs in this series.
A crackback pop up on the right side of the infield and an easy play for Bellinger. They were one of 2 teams in baseball last year that averaged fewer than 4 runs per game, the Giants and the Padres, and through 2+ games. It's a really small sample size, obviously, but they're last in the majors with 2 runs off of just those 2 panic solos. Runner at second, 2 gone, and Hunter Pence. And they've had some opportunities tonight, but 0 for 7 now with runners in scoring position. Dribbled in front of the plate, and they'll tag him out. That's how this inning ends. In the blink of an eye after the leadoff double from Posey. And Ross Stripling's first inning in 2018 is a 0. Two in the first, 1 in the third, and 2 in the fourth. And a 5-0 lead to the bottom of the 6th inning. Some changes. Pablo Sandoval replaces Evan Longoria at third, and Nick Huntley replaces Buster Posey behind the plate to catch Pierce Johnson, who's into the game replacing Derek Holland.
Made his first big league opening day roster this year, even though he was optioned to AAA on March 12th, but a few injuries to the pitching staff for the Giants put him back on the big league club. Made his big league debut last year with the Cubs. Cubs ended up letting him go, and the Giants picked him off waivers.
Kemp, Bellinger, and Forsythe coming up in the 6th. Goes after the first pitch and brings Sandoval into the action. 1 out.
First baseman, Cody Bellinger.
Bellinger still looking for that first hit of the season. He walked his last time and came in to score on the 2-out error from Gregor Blanco. So the Dodgers got their last 2 runs. It was 3-0. Kyle Farmer popped out to center, or popped up to center. And Blanco and McCutcheon had a miscommunication in right center. The ball hit off Blanco's glove, and 2 runs scored. It's one of the 3 errors tonight San Francisco's committed. Johnson's 0-1. Up and away for ball 1.
Now the Dodgers have scored some runs, got some hits. They have really gotten into 2018, but Cody Bellinger still looking to really kind of catch fire, get started.
Yanks a liner to right. McCutchen makes a nice play. In celebration of the great Jackie Robinson, joined the Dodgers April 15th. Arizona Diamondbacks in town at 1:10, and the first 40,000 fans in attendance get a replica Jackie Robinson jersey from Bank of America. Go to Dodgers.com/promotions for more. 2 gone in the 6th. Giants pitching is now retired 7 in a row. As Logan Forsythe stands in and looks at a strike. Like Bellinger, Forsythe still looking for his first hit after 9 ABs. He's in an 0-2 hole. Back-to-back breaking balls from Pierce Johnson.
Logan has always been very comfortable. 2 strike counts. Very surprised last spring training. Turner Ward gave a little presentation on 2-strike hitting and really impressed upon the guys about how you have to get better at this as a whole team, because about 50% of the at-bats in the big leagues get to 2 strikes. So if you can be a successful team with 2 strikes, even though you might raise your average, let's say, oh, I hit 210 with 2 strikes. Well, that's a lot better than somewhere below like 180 or 190. So 2-strike hitting is a huge way to improve a team offense.
Got in on him. Little pop fly, sinking, and McCutchen makes a great play. A couple of them in the inning by Andrew McCutchen, taking hits away from both Bellinger and Logan Forsythe.
Well, for the guy that was the worst outfielder in the major leagues, this is pretty good. Had one tough one earlier, but that one he made.
By Carl's Jr. Dodgers celebrating last year's pennant, handing out the rings tonight for the National League Championship. That's when they handed out the trophy that night in Chicago. Joe Davis, Orel Hershiser, Alana Rizzo, and the Dodgers in front of the Giants 5-0 to the 7th. Ross Stripling ready for his 2nd inning as Gregor Blanco climbs in. 8-9-1 for the Giants. Blanco, a couple of hits in his season debut. As this rivalry rolls on between these two franchises, all the way back into the 1880s. These franchises, it's their ancestors. Actually played in a World Series one time. How is that possible? Both National League teams. Well, there was a time when the Dodgers franchise was in the American Association when they were in Brooklyn. And in 1889, the World Series was the American Association champ, Brooklyn, against the National League champ, the New York Giants. Breaking ball makes it 1-2. They played a best of 11 series. And it was the first time that New York and Brooklyn had met with something more than pride on the line. It used to be just pretty much exhibition games when the two clubs would get together. There was a controversy in this series involving umpires. You might remember this story, Earl. I think we chatted about it during spring training, but it's a really fascinating story in the earliest stages of this rivalry. So in the '89 World Series, the Dodgers owner and the Giants owner each got to pick an umpire. Breaking ball fouled off, stays at 2-2 on Blanco. The Giants owner chose one for some reason from Brooklyn's league. His name was John Gaffney. Not only was Gaffney from Brooklyn's league, but he'd once been given a black eye by the Giants manager, and word was that he was holding a grudge against him still. Bouncing ball, Bellinger cuts it off, feeds Stripling, beats Blanco to the bag for the first out. As if that's not enough reason to not pick the guy if you're the Giants owner. He didn't know this part, but Brooklyn's ownership had quietly been in discussions with John Gaffney about potentially moving out of umpiring into the manager's chair, maybe becoming the manager of the Brooklyn organization. Yeah, this is the guy that the Giants chose to be the umpire in this World Series. How bad could it really go for him? It goes bad. Here's Nick Hundley, first at bat of the season.
Can't be that many close calls.
No, there's 11 games, remember.
Okay.
That's ball one low. Game one, Brooklyn takes the lead in the 8th inning. And immediately they start appealing that it's too dark to continue. Line drive to left. Kemp comes on and makes the catch. Hundley the second out. The umpire that Brooklyn had chosen quickly says, oh, of course, it's too dark. We can't see anymore. But if New York's umpire says no, then they got to keep playing. You've got to have a unanimous decision. Well, John Gaffney stuns everybody and says, I agree. It's too dark. Game over. Brooklyn takes game one. Giants even the series game two. No shenanigans in that one. Here's Joe Panik in a 5-0 game in the 7th. Game three starts to get a little bit obvious. Strike one.
You're going to need 2 half innings to cover 11 games.
No, it actually winds up not going the full 11, but I still may need a little more time. It gets kind of weird. Ball and a strike. Game three. Brooklyn's up by 1 run. The Giants load the bases. So they're knocking on the door, trying to take a 2-1 series advantage. John Gaffney in the 9th inning calls the game for darkness. And Brooklyn wins by 1 run. 2 balls and a strike on Panik. So Brooklyn takes a 2-1 series advantage. Thanks largely to John Gaffney, the umpire. He wasn't finished. Panik shoots a base hit to left.
Saves the story.
Let's just talk about what John Gaffney did in game 4. One of the Giants base runners gets hit by a thrown ball during a rundown. What happens when that happens now? You just play on, right?
Yeah.
Well, John Gaffney decided to make a rule up. Called the runner out. And who's going to overrule John Gaffney?
He's interviewing for the job. He's doing stuff to get the job.
So with a game tied late, when the Giants should have been up, had Gaffney not called the runner out for getting hit by the ball on the rundown. It's ball one on Brandon Belt. The Giants lose a ball in the dark sky. They couldn't find it in the grass because it had gotten dark at this point until the Brooklyn player had rounded the bases with a go-ahead run And that was enough for John Gaffney to say, we can't keep playing. It's too dark. Game over. Brooklyn takes a 3-1 series lead. Ball and a strike on Bell. And so now it's clear at this point something's up, right? John Gaffney is not just an umpire. And so the owners and the captains of the team and the umpires get together and they agree that they're going to start the remainder of the games an hour earlier, so darkness isn't as much of an issue.
Take Gaffney out of the game.
Right, exactly. A pop fly foul, a ball and 2 strikes on Bell. A 5-0 game here in the 7th. So they have this meeting. Giants win the next 5 games with darkness no longer an issue, with Gaffney no longer an impact on the outcomes of the games because of it. They win the next 5 games. They take the '89 World Series 6-3. John Gaffney was never offered the Brooklyn manager job. You got to finish the job, Johnny.
You changed the game time on me.
Yeah, I was doing my best. 2-2. The 1889 World Series, the first and only World Series between these teams, because Brooklyn soon after moved to the National League. Little jam shot, short left field. That will fall in. Back-to-back 2-out singles for Panic and Belt. And it keeps the inning alive for McCutcheon.
Right fielder number 22.
Well, we moved from a good story to a game that's still in the balance because of a couple of blue pits. And Andrew McCutcheon yet to get on track here in 2018. And Buster Posey got his first hit of the year. We said he was due. Rick Honeycutt wants to make sure we've got some protection in the bullpen.
Stripling against McCutcheon. Trying to bring the Giants back in with 1 swing. Instead smacks a ground ball. Forsythe able to get to it. Throws and gets him. Logan Forsythe take a bow.
3 errors last night at third. That's no big deal. Send him back to second where he's not as comfortable, but he's just as good. Awesome play going to his right. Stretched by Bellinger. Record the out. Brought to you by Arco, and it has to be this ball to Logan Forsythe's right. Redemption for him. Last night, 3 errors, which is such an anomaly for him at third base. Tonight, Logan Forsythe returns with the leather. Ross Stripling completely appreciates it.
Andrew McCutcheon saying, man, I can't buy a hit right now. 1 for 11 to open his time in a Giants uniform. Dodgers 5, Giants nothing. Sam Dyson with his season debut, and there's some concern about Sam Dyson coming into the year. Got the Giants acquired midway through last season. He's had some dominant runs in his career in Miami and in Texas. They struggled last year with the Rangers, seemed to right the ship with the Giants, but then this spring was awful.
High velocity guy can be a high impact guy if he can locate it. The fastball will hover in the mid 90s, and the slider is still a click above 90.
Bottom part of the order, Austin Barnes will lead the inning off. Here's the first one, and there's strike one. Injuries have depleted the bullpen some, like they have the rotation for the Giants. Mark Melancon, their big money closer, is out to open the year. Didn't have a good year last year. He was shut down and had forearm surgery in September. Well, he re-aggravated that forearm during spring training. He hasn't said whether or not it's the exact same thing, but a similar spot. Has him on the shelf. It hurts to throw right now. That's a problem as a pitcher. And then Will Smith, still not yet back from last year's Tommy John. They're hoping to get him around May.
When shoulders get tight or forearms get tight, a lot of times it means the structure of the arm is starting to come apart and the muscles are having to work too hard. So forearm tightness for me is watch out for the ligament in your elbow. Start to get shoulder tightness, watch out for the ligaments around your shoulder and the capsule and the labrum, because inherently your arm knows it needs to stay stable and it's losing stability, so the muscles start firing harder to keep it together.
Tailing fastball gets Barnes, 1 away.
So the fact that that forearm tightness for him is reoccurring, that is not a good sign.
And it went right up until the day before opening day as Farmer stands in, before they decided not to carry Mark Melancon on the opening day roster. But before they boarded the plane, he decided to play catch one more time, and every throw hurt.
Well, every pitcher is hurt, even the ones that are out there on the mound pitching healthy, because there's damage going on in the shoulder and the elbow and other places. But there does become a breaking point for you where stiffness, pain creeps in, and all of a sudden you find out maybe it's worse than you thought. They MRI your shoulder, they MRI your elbow. As a healthy pitcher in the big leagues, you're still going to find some odd things in there, but nothing hurts. But there is wear and tear.
2-0 from Dyson to Farmer. Got out in front of it, off the end of the bat, tests Sandoval, 2 out. Dyson trying to work a 1-2-3 inning. And with the bases empty and 2 gone, he'll face a pinch hitter in the pitcher's spot, Chase Utley.
Pitch hitting for the Dodgers, number 26, Chase Utley.
Think they appreciate him here? Pedro Baez will be next out of the Dodger pen. One and 0. Utley had a pinch hit base hit on opening day and then hitless in his first start yesterday. 39 years old in his 16th major league season. Yanks another base hit. 2 for 2 in pinch hit opportunities so far this year.
He makes you smile. Taken out, get a hit. Anyway, you know he is trying his ultimate best, and boy, has he turned back the clock. Remember when this guy was having trouble just getting on the field and keeping his legs healthy? Now he's beating out infield hits.
Top of the order, and Chris Taylor. He had bad knee problems for several years back in Philadelphia. And revamped his workout regimen. Backs up, ball one.
A lot of big leaguers have taken gluten out of their diet, saying it's just the swelling, stuff that's just hurting their joints, and they're finding a lot of relief from certain specific things that they're removing from their diet.
And Chase is very low carb as far as how he eats. Pretty much chicken and broccoli. Doesn't even eat eggs.
Yep, people staying away from dairy a little bit more, and definitely the gluten.
And this is maybe a stupid question, but are eggs technically dairy?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I hope not.
And I only ask it over television because I asked the truck and they weren't certain either.
Poultry?
So, poultry, yeah. Come from a chicken.
Not derived from milk.
Not from the cow.
Yep.
That was my hunch. Chopper to third, Sandoval. Bradley got that figured out before this inning ended. Would have been a long, awkward silence waiting for us to come back and tell you if eggs are poultry or dairy. 5-0 after 7.
Tremendous performance by one of their starting pitchers. These guys will break it down. We'll have a reaction from the clubhouse coming up after the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, in support of the Los Angeles Dodgers Foundation, the winner of tonight's 50-50 raffle will take home half of the final jackpot of $48,235. Remaining 50% will go to the Los Angeles Dodgers Foundation in support of the program.
Dodgers up 5-0. We start the 8th inning, but first we check in with the studio for Access Sportsnet Dodgers, presented by your Southern California Ford dealers.
Thanks, Joe. What do you know, guys? The Dodgers finally get some runs. They also got another tremendous performance by one of their starting pitchers. These guys will break it down. We'll have a reaction from the clubhouse coming up after the game.
Hey, John, how about that slate blue suit John's rocking tonight? Looks good.
He always looks good. Jerry Hairston, when he's not on the show tonight, he always thinks he looks better. He's got, well.
Yeah, John looks good. Jerry thinks he looks good. Here's Pedro
Ned's
Baez.
the silver fox of the studio. And Nomar, he just taps off home run comebacks, and they talk about him every night.
Sandoval lead off this inning as Baez makes his 2018 debut, and a nice soft landing spot for him to do that in a year where his confidence was rattled. And he pours in a strike at 97. This was the hope to be able to get him a little less than a high leverage spot to ease his way in, especially in front of a home crowd where he was rattled here in the booze last year. I got a chunk of Barnes, 0-2. We're all human. Pedro, sensitive guy, and it did rattle him hearing what he heard. Sports so much about the mental side and the confidence, and he's hoping that it's back. Barnes setting the target up for an 0-2 fastball that's driven down the left field line towards the corner, and we'll do it again.
That needed to hook foul for Pedro's confidence. Matt reuniting with some Dodger fans there from before. Didn't get to do that in left field most of the time. Was in center field when he was here before.
Winning a Gold Glove. Matt said it's been cool seeing a lot of familiar faces around the ballpark. You know, from season ticket holders to the ushers, security. And he said the first thing they all ask about is, how's Judy doing? Everybody knows Judy, Matt says. That's his mom, who lived with him for a time when he was here in LA the first time around. Baez pitches 0-2. Ground ball, base hit into center.
Back-to-back changeups. This is a good one, but the fastball was pulled or pushed foul, and now the changeup turns the field. The ground ball finds a hole.
Bruce Bochy sends up Kelby Tomlinson. Giants out hitting the Dodgers 9-4 in this game. Dodgers taking advantage of 3 Giants errors. Oh, and 1. Also some walks that they took advantage of. He had the 2-run score on the 2-out error in the 4th inning. And Derek Holland issued 3 walks. All of them turned into runs.
It was one of his problems last year, the walks and the home run balls. Worst year of his career for Holland.
Bouncing ball to short. Hernandez feeds Forsythe. 6-4-3 double play.
Dodger fans are cheering. Pedro Baez is relieved. You don't want to start the year off with the base hit and then have another one find its way. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone right there. Nice little ground ball, and it came on a slider, not a fastball.
So Crawford bats with the bases empty. Ball 1. Change up makes it a ball and a strike.
Doing a good job mixing his pitches, not just defaulting to the fastball.
A pop fly to shallow center field. Chris Taylor's there. Pedro Baez faces the minimum, putting up a 0 in his first outing of the year.
66 celebrates every decade the team has been in LA. Be one of the first 40,000 fans in attendance on April 10th when the Dodgers host the A's and receive the first set from 1965. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Some defensive changes for you. Gorkis Hernandez now in the game and left. Kelby Tomlinson pinch hit last inning. He remains in, plays short, and Reyes Moronta makes his season debut for the Giants 1 year after he made his major league debut with 7 outings and did a pretty nice job for him, but earning his first opening day assignment. 2, 3, and 4. It's Kike Hernandez, who's 1 for 2 tonight. Dodgers with the 5 runs on 4 hits. Taking advantage of the 3 walks that Holland issued. Taking advantage of the 3 errors the Giants have scattered. McCutcheon, a couple of nice defensive plays around those. Here's a pop up on the infield. Tomlinson for the first out.
Right fielder number 66, Yasiel Puig.
Amaranta against Puig. In front of 45,938 tonight. Back-to-back sellouts on the first 2 nights of the season, and another good one tonight. Strike 1, 97.
Moronta got a little bit of a Pedro Baez build. Gets a fastball up there in the upper 90s. Curveball and a slider.
That one backs up and misses. 1-1.
Pedro's mechanics are a little more straight line. Moronta kind of wraps his shoulders and hips around the rubber as he kind of rotates towards you as he comes aggressively towards home plate.
Brings a 1-2 to Puig, and Yasiel punches a bouncing ball to Joe Panik at second. 2 out. Dodgers only 1 hit since Chris Taylor's 1-out triple in the 3rd. As Chase Utley's pinch hit single last inning. But beggars can't be choosers the way the first 2 nights of this season went.
This game has really, turned around the whole series and the feeling about both teams. I mean, the Giants have only scored 2 runs on 2 solo shots by Panik. The Dodgers have patched together some runs today. Dodgers starting pitchers have been absolutely amazing in the 3 games. The bullpen has only given up 1 run, and it was Kenley Jansen who gave it up. Last year in Kenley's 2nd outing of the year, he gave up 2 runs to Colorado and then went on a run that was pretty historic as far as how many zeros he put up.
Kemp hits it foul. He's behind 0-2. Or is it 1 run over the next 30 outings after that?
Yeah, something crazy like that. And what he didn't walk a man forever.
Right. Scott Alexander with a 5-run lead. Looks like it'd be the man for the 9th inning, not Jansen.
Alexander pitches the 9th. Wilmer Font will be the only guy on the Dodger roster that has not appeared in one of the first 3 games. Managers are sensitive about that here at the very beginning of the year. Guys leave spring training excited, make the roster. They want to make sure all the ingredients feel like they're part of the team. And so Bruce Bochy getting a few of the guys in his roster in there tonight. Dave Roberts making sure the guys in the bullpen don't wait too long before they get their tune-up, no matter what the situation.
Moronta looking for a 1-2-3 inning. Instead, Kemp muscles a fly ball to left center field. Hernandez with a running catch And Maranta has that 1-2-3-8. On to the ninth. The Dodgers 3 outs away from the first win of the season. His debut in 2018, he fans 10 over 5 shutout innings.
He's absolutely fantastic. The arm speed played up, the pitch count was good enough, but you know what? The velocity on the fastball, 91 to 94, and boy, was he really spinning the changeup and the slider.
How about Scott Alexander, who's about to make his Dodger debut?
Over 90% sinkers. That's the two-seamer, and the bottom drops out of it. I don't care if it's a left-hander or a right-hander. It moves late. You hit the top of it. I really believe this guy's going to be an integral part to success for the Dodger bullpen and team here in 2018.
Over from Kansas City. Face Corcus Hernandez to lead off the 9th inning. Bottom part of the order. Last chance for the Giants on a day where they've out-hit the Dodgers 9-4, but have gone 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position. The Dodgers have taken advantage of their opportunities. 2 in the first, 1 in the third, and 2 in the fourth. Swing and a miss, 1-2 on the 93-mile-per-hour sinker.
It's a power sinker. One that he learned from Scott Erickson when he was around him. Took him a little while to get the grip down in the field.
Oswald Alexander was pitching at Pepperdine, and Erickson was still in the final years of his long major league career. Was living in Malibu, was working out at Pepperdine. Saw the way that Alexander had a little bit of tail naturally to his two-seam and said, grip it like this and see what it does. Gets a swing and a miss for strike 3 to open his Dodger career.
He's all but eliminated the slider, but every once in a while he'll throw it and put people away with it. But the two-seamer, sometimes he'll pull it and it'll look like a slider. Sometimes it'll go straight down, and then also gets that arm side run with sink. But the key is making it look like a strike at the knees and then burying it.
One away for Gregor Blanco. It's a sinker low. Yeah, after Erickson taught Alexander that pitch, it was moving so much that he was having a hard time throwing it for a strike. So he kind of just put it in his back pocket. Used it here and there. But even when he started his pro career, he wasn't close to the guy he is now as far as 90% sinker. Wasn't until before last season that he decided, like you mentioned, to kind of push that slider aside and focus almost entirely on the sinker. It's a one-seamer. The way that he grips it. Falling behind Blanco 3-0.
Different grips for everybody. Because not only is it the grip, but it's your arm angle, it's your hand discipline, it's your release point where the ball comes out of your hand, strength of your fingers. And so a guy can show you how to grip the baseball and say, this is how it works for me. And then you go try it, play catch or throw on the side or dry work, and it doesn't work for you. But then pitchers are always tinkering with that grip from the guy that it works. Maybe I got to tilt it a little bit more. Maybe I'll take a finger off the seam. Maybe I'll put a little bit more pressure on this finger compared to the other one. Pitchers are never finished products. They are always looking for something new or to accentuate what they've got.
One away, and Nick Conley, the hitter, here in the 9th inning of a 5-0 game. That's a little bit low for ball one. I know Sandy Koufax used to say, right, like, just grip it like this. And he'd say, well, I don't have fingers like you, Sandy. I can't wrap my fingers around the baseball.
Exactly. Take it with a grain of salt. It definitely ended up using the pressure points of where Sandy wanted me to hold the ball as far as my curveball, and he has helped many a guy with their curveball.
Ends a string of 6 straight balls from Alexander, 2-1.
Little adrenaline, new team. Not really overthrowing, but not getting the call down there by the knees and not getting the hitters that are chasing right yet. I think he'll zone it in. "5-0 lead, 3-1 count, 1 out in the 9th. Bring the ball up a little bit, even if it's got to be slightly above the knee.
Could get a ground ball to finish the night. Instead, ball 4. And Kenley Jansen has started to loosen in the Dodger bullpen.
Number 12, Joe Panic.
The spray pattern is fine. He's just missing by a little bit. And this visit from Rick Honeycutt is really not about Alexander as much as it is about getting Kenley Jansen a little time, just in case this starts to get away.
This does count as a mound visit, by the way, and that has not been as big of an issue, I think, as anybody had feared it may. The mound visit limit of 6 so far this season. I don't think anybody has exhausted those 6 so far.
I think just the fact that there is a rule and a limit is making teams very aware of it, players aware of it, and going in there and visiting. So the fact that nobody wants to waste one is really keeping them from even using them.
Right. And so is it doing what it intended to?
I think completely. If they decide to go with some other speed up play rules, I hope they're as subtle as that one and can make as big an impact.
2 on with 1 out. Joe Panic at the top of the order. Giants trying to make things interesting here in the 9th. Alexander finds the zone after the visit. 0-1. Panic 2 for 4 tonight after the homer in game 1 and the homer in game 2. Those 2 home runs accounting for all of San Francisco's scoring in this series. Ground ball machine gets one here. 4, 6, 3, and a win for the Dodgers here in game 3.
How
Big win. They needed it, but they were going to get a lot this year. This is just the first of many.
Get the 5 runs on just 4 hits. They take advantage of the opportunities that they had. A much different story for the Giants, who go 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position. And despite out-hitting the Dodgers 9-4, get shut out 5-0. And now the story feels a little bit different, doesn't it? The Dodgers with a chance to split this series with a win tomorrow, and suddenly it's the Giants who are wondering, where's the offense going to come from with just the 2 runs through 3 games? For Hershiser, Alana Rizzo, the rest of our fantastic Los Angeles crew, Joe Davis saying so long from Dodger Stadium. The Dodgers win at 5-0. Access Sportsnet Dodgers begins now.